Hi gamers, I've been living here for the past 30 years and I've got nothing better to do than try to hit the bucket before I kick it. I'm not homeless or anything, it's just I've got nothing to do at my house, so why should I bother to get in? What is this? Xbox 360. This is that video game thing, right? I don't know, should I trust this? It's not even X-shaped, what gives? Well, if you can't meet them, join them. Holy electricity, this is awesome! But why though? Video games are so cool. Imagine me saying that 27 years ago and running away from bullies, but now, well, they're here alright. It's funny to think that gamers in the past were seen as a bunch of whiners who had nothing better to do, and now we're still that, but in a community. With the rise of the almighty internet, the gamer lifestyle got bigger and bigger to the point where it can be a skill or even a job. Well, you have no qualifications whatsoever to work as a vet, but it says here that you've beaten a dog's life for PlayStation 2? Twice! You're hired! But what makes video games so likable? Why do people love to press buttons just to murder their best friends? Well, we have to start somewhere, might as well be when everything started, to a little timeline I like to call before the internet, also known as... Video games started in 1958 when computer scientists were trying their best to give us tennis with dots. God bless him. But the main games that people were playing were essentially board games, just like civilizations far into the past. This means that people already enjoyed two things: interactivity and competition. Jumping further to the 70s, the first video game console released in 1972, the Magnavox Odyssey, and I gotta say, for a first video game console, this machine was total garbage! It served no purpose other than to be the first and something. It simply was a bunch of board games turned into sticker games. You stick these plastic plate mats on your TV and you control these live thingies with these controllers. Cartridges were different programs for the live thingies and that's it. So the video game at home market still wasn't as heavy as it is today. But there were titans emerging before the gods. Sure, there were pinball machines since 1947, but the electronic arcade machines united people dying to spend coins since 1972, when the first video game ever emerged. Look at this. This is fine wine. But this wasn't the first one! Remember when I talked about interactivity and competition? This is what made Pong such a success. So much that made people forget a previous video game machine. In 1971, the creators of Pong, Nola Bushnell and Ted Dabney, worked on Computer Space. A space war video game that sold pretty well, but wasn't near the success of Pong. But this wasn't the first one! Yeah, even before this, there was a super expensive computer with a space game that inspired Computer Space, called Space War, with an exclamation mark. But you simply can't beat two rectangles passing a square to each other. You just can't. This spawned so much home consoles with so much modifications of the same game. This truly was the Pong era. Well, there were no other video games, so... there you go. Who can blame them? It was like hair hockey but with myopia included. Everyone understood this concept. And then, the revolution! I'm not here today to list every home console and arcade machine ever created. I'm saying that the interactivity and competitiveness of video games set them apart from other entertainment media, especially with kids. These were like playing with toys, but more intense. It was like they were really on an adventure with real danger. No, they weren't. Okay, games weren't as real as they are today. That's why action games were sold to little kids. Could you possibly have nightmares with this? Or this? Or this? Jesus! Moving on to the 16-bit era, and we're starting to see some kids wearing big boys' trousers to rip their friends' skulls apart in Mortal Kombat. The Night of the Living Dead of video games, since it was so violent and with real people-less characters that started the rating system we have today. This game was serious. This started the trigger question we video gamers all hate. Do video games promote violence? Of course not. I know in America it's a general rating, like for everyone, everyone plus 10, teenagers, mature, and adults only, which usually means... so it's really rare to see them on consoles. I say this is general because it's more about the mentality of the gamer rather than the age. But in Europe, It's all about the numbers. I don't really know how it is in other countries, but here in Portugal it's amazing to see the amount of kids below 10 years old playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and Call of Duty, despite the age rating. Usually there's a guy on TV with a mustache and a suit saying that video games promote violence and make little Jimmy hit the ice cream man with a crowbar.
And everyone believes it!
We're talking about people who think this number is just a company's name. What else it could be? This lack of communication between gamers and others, and between parents and children, just grew. Especially when the internet became as important as underwear. You may have it or you don't, but if you don't have it, you're a weirdo. Now the news about games and guys with mustache are reachable to everyone. There are no secrets and there are no boundaries, and everyone can play and say whatever they want to everyone. The world is connected through the same way you're watching this video, which means if some mustache guy says that video games promote violence, not only your grandmother knows, but your whole family thinks you're the scum of the earth and rather say you're a drug dealer than a gamer. Opinions about new and old games are spread like a flu and it affects everyone.
Please don't take this out of context.
If a famous guy says that this game is terrible, you better believe him, or you'll walk the plank right out of the ship. If a game is famous, you better have it, or you'll be alone and cold playing Sonic R by yourself. But of course, not everything is bad. Video games are bigger than ever, and a lot more people want to be a part of this industry. You can play with anyone you want, wherever you want. You get to see amazing fantasy worlds and share its secrets wherever you want. You get to be an action star, a magical warrior, a maniac driver, play old games, play new games, games that try to be old games and fail miserably. You can explore this virtual world, modify it, find amazing strategies to beat it as fast as you can. Share your experiences online. If you can't find time to play games, you can always watch other people play them live while you're doing something else. Believe me, I know a lot more games than the ones I played.
This is the perfect time to be a fan of video games, so why not take your time and discuss this topic with me in the comments? Why not share this video and click that subscribe button? A guy gotta eat, right? Anyway, till next time, guys.